Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. The world on you depends. Our life will never end. Gotta love your man. Yeah. Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan. Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm, riders on the storm, riders on the storm, riders on the storm.
I can't believe nothing's working. Nothing's working as usual, guys. Nothing's working. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I got about 29 people here. I felt compelled to play the Doors today since I had an awesome trip being a mushroom for 5 hours. And I'll tell you all about that later on, probably. Tonight, I have a very special guest with me. I have Jeremy Fately from I Want to Know More channel. And this is my subscriber who has gone on my little adventures with me up to Mount Chiha and everything. But I am going to warn you guys, we are having a little bit of technical difficulties. There seems to be a delay. And we got to work that out. So I'm going to bring Jeremy in now and see how things are lining up between us talking here, because there seems to be like an 8-second delay of some sort. All right, let's see. Hey, Jeremy, can you hear me? And I think your mic is muted, so make sure you unmute. You there? I think your mic is still muted. I'm not sure. It kind of looks muted from here. All right, I definitely don't think he's unmuted yet, because I don't hear anything. You sound like your audio is scrambled. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm sorry. There's no reason I should have a chipmunk voice. It's very strange. Jeremy, are you there? I think he's still muted. I can't tell. Yeah, he's muted still. Can you unmute?
Going, Jen.
Wait.
How are you?
There you are. I'm good.
I'm doing
How
good.
are
Can you hear
you?
me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear. So some people are saying I have a computer voice.
This delay
Everything's
is like
real
incredible.
Yeah. I don't know what to do to change the problem here that I'm
No, I
having with
unmuted.
StreamYard.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah,
Like this was not the way it
yeah,
was
you're
last night
unmuted.
when we rehearsed this.
Yeah. I mean, there was a little delay last night, but it seems to be more on your end than my end. For me, you're fine, really. Ceiling Fan Man said the audio is good now, so that's good. And how does it sound to you, Jeremy?
Can you hear me yet?
Yeah. Yeah, we hear you.
Yes, I am here.
5x5. We're good.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yep. You sound great.
Doing well.
All right. So, Jeremy, recently you started a new channel, and a lot of people are still getting familiar with you, or maybe some people don't know who you are right now or what's going on with you. You want to tell people a little bit about yourself and how you got started with your channel and what compelled you to want to start asking these types of questions and wanting to know more? And I'll leave the floor to you. You can just start talking.
All right. Well, as y'all know, my name's Jeremy. What compelled me to start this channel was actually yourself and a push from Austin from the Melodome. I woke up about, I guess about 7 years ago. I kind of had a spiritual awakening. I had turned my life over to God, and the more I looked, just things didn't add up. And actually, what led me into all of this was the Mandela effect of all things, which I already knew. 911 was bunk and all that. But what really made me really start opening my eyes was the Mandela effect.
Mm-hmm.
That just really blew my mind, and it just led me down a rabbit hole. And then Rob Skiba and David Weiss ruined my life with flat Earth. So I've been on that adventure for a few years now. It took me a little while to get to the point to accept that we don't live on a spinning ball. But I mean, once I got to that point, I mean, there was no looking back. I've been on this journey for, like I said, about 7 years now, and you woke me up to the whole mountains or melted building and the old world architecture. So I have you to thank for that. So,
Thank
and
you.
I just want to give a shout out to Austin and Christian. Thank you guys for the push, and just want to give you thanks, Jen, for your support and everything. You've given me so much support over the past little time that I've known you. It's just been incredible, the support and this community. I mean, like the people in the chat. I mean, you guys are awesome. This is probably some of the best people I have ever came across in my walks of life.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree 100%. And thank you so much for that prop there. I always knew that you had it in you. I could tell just by the way me and you would have conversations on our little adventures and stuff that you would be really good at this. And I'm really glad that you took to that power director stuff because
Yeah, we're
you're
going to
really
have
doing.
a long delay there. Sorry.
That's okay. But you're doing really well. And I really like the direction you're going in, the questions that you have. What you brought forth in your water videos was really compelling. The fact that we can't recreate water, it's just is. It's like you can't really even explain water, to tell you the truth. And yet we're all water pretty much. Without water, we wouldn't even exist. Oh, yeah, it's so crazy. I know we have a little delay. I'm sorry. So, Jeremy, your last video that you put out.
Water blew my mind. When I started researching into water, it just I thought
Keep
we knew almost everything about water, but, after I started researching it, we know nothing about water, honestly. There is more we don't know about water than we know about water. Like, I've probably spent 6 hours just researching.
Mhm. And the fact that that we are mostly water. Um, Life itself springs out of water. There's water all around us 24/7 pretty much. Even in the driest of places, you can still find water. And it's pretty amazing stuff. When I heard V for Vendetta, they say in that movie, God is in the rain. And I tend to lean more towards that these days because I feel like God is the water, God is creation, and all this was created out of water. And you were talking about that too, about how you think water played a part in this creation. Why don't you explain that a little bit? I'll light a cigarette while you're waiting for me. Did you get all that, Jeremy? Uh-oh. I hope I didn't lose him. You still there, buddy? He's definitely not muted. So, okay. Well, we'll just wait on him and see what happens. I am going to get up his video because he's got a really good video out here that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm going to get that ready while we're waiting for him to reply. I'm not sure if he got bumped off the internet or something. It is frustrating when you have a delay. It's, because you feel like once you get to hear what the person finally said, you're
Oh,
stepping
I
all over what
firmly believe that water is our link to God. The more I look into it, the more I feel like that what we call it the ether is actually um, water vapor, and
Mhm.
water vapor that because everything comes into contact with water on every part of the world, even the driest deserts. There is water above and beneath the sand. So like you said, I believe God is in the water. I cannot disagree with you at any point in that.
So, do you remember
Yeah,
when we
I'm
went?
sorry, this delay. I think we got at least a minute and a half delay.
That's so strange because last night it was like maybe 8 seconds, the delay. Um, I'm going to take you out and then bring you back in. I'm going to take you off the screen for a minute and then I'll bring you back in. See if that helps, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know. He's out in bumfuck nowhere, wherever he lives, and the internet's really bad out there. He's got to get a booster or something. Let me see if I can come back in. Hey, you there? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Jeremy?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Are we
Yeah.
getting
Is it a
through?
little better? Yes. Yes. Okay.
All right, seems like we're back down to about an 8 to 10 second delay. So that's a little bit better than what we was working with.
Yeah, because that's crazy. But what I wanted to ask you
Oh, that
was
was driving me
when we
nuts.
when we went up to Mount Chiha and we tracked that water back to that source. It was you were there with me. We videoed it. It was coming just out of the ground in that one little spot. Remember? Oh boy. Hope the delay didn't go
Yeah, it
too
was
long.
coming straight out of the ground, and we were pretty much on the top there. So there's really no reason why that water should have been coming up out of the ground. I mean, I forget how many feet we were up, but you know, like you said, we were at the pretty much the top, the almost the highest point on that side of the mountain there. So
Yeah,
like you said, there was no way for that water to come out except for, I'm guessing, the old plumbing system of the building that used to
yeah,
be there.
yep. And the funny thing is that they've tapped into that old plumbing system and they use it for the cabins up there. And they don't get that water pumped all the way up there. That water's already up there, and they use it. I think we're back to a delay.
I'm sorry, you kind of froze up on me there.
Oh, that's okay. We're having some sort of issue here. Um, no, but I was saying about how it looked like a little tiny spring underground that was just coming out of the grass, like ever so slightly. Yet this whole thing went all the way down the side of the mountain, and that they're tapping into that. Up there with those cabins that they have at the top of the mountain, where they're not pumping the water up there, they're bringing the water down, flowing down from the cabins and stuff. You see that pipe that runs along that one rock wall, which is side of the building, and it's right near where that house was, that old melted house now that doesn't look like it
Oh yeah,
belongs
I
there.
agree. I
Yeah,
I don't think that they're pumping it all. They're using the pressure that's built up inside the mountain itself.
yeah,
Like when we were looking at the pipes, I was actually kind of looking for a place where they would be pumping, but there was no pumping stations. They were
no.
tapping into the old world water system, which usually would use the pressure of itself. They didn't have to have pumps back then.
Yeah, and another thing too was that we were finding mortar lines everywhere up there on Mount Cheeha, guys. I'll probably repost some of those videos of our explorations that Jeremy and I did together. But Mount Cheeha, when you went up there with new eyes, Jeremy, how was it for you? What did you feel like? I mean, how many times have you been to Mount Cheeha in your life? And then to go there with these new eyes, what was that like?
Oh man, it was incredible. Like, I grew up around these mountains my whole life, and at times I have myself question. I was like, well, why do a lot of these rock walls look like a brick pattern? That just really don't line up with what geology had taught us. But, just like the things you observe as a child about the earth being flat and the way the sky works, you just accept it as, okay, smarter guys have figured this out, so okay, that's how it is. And that's how they pulled the veil over our eyes over all these years. But going up there with new eyes, man, and especially that one kind of circular rock we found that had the mortar lines underneath it, man, that was awesome.
Dude,
Like I said,
it
going up
was.
there with new eyes, uh you can just see it everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere, guys. You can see the lines, and these are they'll tell you they're quartz veins, okay? But these things are running completely straight and parallel to each other, just the way mortar lines would in a brick wall, and it was undeniable. Now there was this one point where Jeremy and I had found two separate rocks. One of the rocks had a mortar line on it, and the rock that I picked up matched that rock. And I didn't get it on video, and I wish that I did, but it fit perfectly together. Remember that, Jeremy?
Yes, that was awesome. That was one of the ones I wished you had got on video, because what are the odds that you would have picked up the two rocks that would have matched
Right,
perfectly
right there.
together? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that was a really cool one.
So you could tell that it was two bricks. Now they're all muffed up, but the mortar had petrified to it, and now they call it quartz crystal. And it was a perfect straight line. And when you put the other one up to it, it fit perfectly together. And we were finding this stuff everywhere up there on Chiha. If you looked down on the ground, if you looked up at the rock wall, if you looked up under stuff, tucked up under the rock beds and stuff, you could see mortar lines everywhere. It was insane. And I was like 100% convinced now that, you know, that Chiha and all these other mountains are definitely buildings of some sort.
Well, you know, they say that, you know, where you and I live, we are the foothills of the Appalachians. I just think we were harder hit and more devastated than the upper mountains, because, you know, like where we live here in Alabama, we are known for our dirt as being red clay. Well,
Yeah.
what happens when you cook down red brick? It turns into red clay, and after the years, it would all filter down into the lower levels, which, you know, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, all of the places surrounding, you know, like the foothills, are known for their red clay dirt.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Pretty crazy stuff. And then when we went up to that other hill, okay, do you remember? That's the first one that we tackled, was the hill. And when we got up there, it was very interesting. We could definitely see the formations. Now, we videoed this all, it's all on my channel. It looked a lot like what Herodium looks like, which is completely a man-made structure. It's not muffed up to the point where they can call it a natural geological feature or a volcano, but there's a lot of these hills in Alabama that come up and flatten out on the top and come back down. And I'm not sure if you have them out where you're at, Jeremy, but as I drive around here in the Addison area and look at these mountain hills, or they're hills, they're not quite a mountain, but they're bigger than a hill kind of thing. A lot of them have these flat tops to them and stuff. Do you have stuff like that out where you live?
Oh, most definitely. Like I live what's called the Duggar Mountain Range. I actually have well, what we call mountains here in Alabama. I have them on kind of both sides of where I live. I kind of live out in the middle of kind of nowhere, which is why the internet connection is so bad, because, you know, we had to have quote unquote satellite internet, which we all know is ground based, but I digress. And yeah, like over around here, there are all kind of mountains with flattened out tops, and you know, just randomly square rocks placed all over the place, you know, that looks like at one point, you know, could have been bricks that melted together.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of big, huge boulders here and stuff too, and they're all blackened and everything. But within those boulders, you can see structure. Like when I went up the other side of that hill, remember I went up by myself without you on that other side, and I had to get up there when I did because spring was coming and all the thorns and stuff were growing in and everything, and there would have been no way possible for me to do this during full-on summertime. It has to be either pre-spring or post-fall, I guess, kind of time. And I do want to go back there once all the leaves fall and everything starts dying off, and take you with me back there, because I found a structure up there that was what was the remnants, it looked like, of some sort of a building, but it was so deformed and melted looking. It was so insane, dude. I remember looking at it and thinking, my God, I got to get over to that thing over there. And it took me forever just to get, like, I don't even know, 50 feet. That's how difficult it was to climb this, to get over there. It was like blood, sweat, and tears that day for sure. I had marks all over me from all these things catching on me, all these pricklies and everything. But it was an amazing moment when I got there, and it was like, I'm standing here in front of something that nobody comes up here and looks at. Nobody even really pays any attention to this thing. There's just a road that drives around it and a couple of houses at the base of it. but you could clearly see this thing was something. It's not just some outcropping of boulders that look like they fell down over themselves, like a jigsaw puzzle that just fell apart or something. And ever since my eyes have been open to this whole phenomenon, this new story, this new advanced civilization that lived here not so long ago, it's not so far out of reach. Like, we've always known that there was an advanced civilization here, and something happened and they disappeared, right? Ancient aliens, all that crap. But they always put it so far away, like 10,000 years ago, 12,000 years ago, maybe, or something. But now we know different, that this is a very recent event. And now, when you go to these places, like your favorite walking trails or up these mountains and stuff, hell, even if you go to like some of these national parks and stuff, you can't help but see the structure everywhere. And once you get into seeing that these are from an extreme heat event that took place in not so distant past, that these were actually structures that have melted down, all of it makes sense. Even they try to explain away some of the erosion patterns as melt erosion. They even call it melt erosion because it looks melted. No, it looks melted because it actually did melt, and it was an extreme heat event that actually, I think, affected the dome as well. Now, I was maybe tossing the idea around a little bit with DJ earlier that our dome may actually be made of some sort of crystalline water structure that may even have salt in it. It may be a type of salt dome. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that this heat rises from the X Factor event and makes that layer of the dome melt. Whether there's salt in it or not, I don't know. Is the salt from the building ash mixing with all the water? Maybe. I don't have all these answers. We can really only speculate to a certain point. But I do see the Great Flood that everybody talks about, because I could see how people would remember the Great Flood, but not the X Factor event itself, because that would be the most prominent recent thing that happened after the X Factor event that they would remember getting through. You know what I mean? So I think the Great Flood that's talked about all over the world and all these different cultures is definitely connected to the X Factor event. Something had to come in and cool everything off. What do you think about that, Jeremy?
Well, it was interesting you was saying that, because, the other night I was thinking, what if what we look up and see and they call the Milky Way or the Great Rift is actually heat damage from the X Factor event? Like, say, you look at a satellite image of, say, like Death Valley,
Yeah.
something of incredible intensity just popped off over there. And like
You can
you look at
see
like
how
the
it's all running
Sahara,
down.
uh,
Yeah.
you know,
How it's all
yeah,
running down.
exactly.
All the
Like
stuff.
it looks like it has just been just obliterated. And you would think, if we are in an enclosed system, like I believe we are, the Bible firmly says that we have a dome over us. It was beaten out like brass, which I agree with you. I believe it is like a crystalline structure that is from water, because as I mentioned in my first video, you know, water has many different crystalline structures at different temperatures. I forget exactly how many. I want to say it was like 36, but I could be wrong. But, list of those. But even as hard as it is, with that much energy being let off from the X Factor event, I feel like that the what we call the Great Rift is actually damage in the firmament from the X Factor event. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely some type. Okay, so like, say if you look at icebergs that melt and stuff, there's fissures that get created in it, gouges and stuff. Maybe the heat was more intense in that area where it rose and hit the dome at that particular part, and created that scarring effect there. But but the dome is alive because water is alive, and this is a crystalline structure, and it can harden, and it can be gelatinous, and it can also be like water as well, like where it would melt down and rain over us a lot, right? So it's so interesting to ponder. We don't really know what the dome is, but when you go to the outskirts of our plane where it's domed off, it gets really cold out there, and that's where the edges of the dome would be. And as it rises up, it seems to hold that same structure due to the temperature dictates the state of matter. So it would be frozen all the way up, not just on the side walls. You know what I mean? And if it's frozen and it's water and it's crystalline water, and that heat rises and hits the dome, it's going to come down and cool everything off. Because clearly it happened pretty quickly. Everything was still melting, and then it just stopped mid melt. Everything froze, and that's why we see the cave formations that we see. Everything looks melted, like to the same extent, not like one looks a little melted and the other one looks a lot. It seems like inside the caves, like DeSoto Caverns, everything's the same level of melt. And it's just very, very interesting, this whole topic.
Hey, yeah, this is one of the most fascinating subjects. I just wish that there was a way, like my name suggests, I want to know more. I want to know more. I'm not happy with just a little bit of information I got, and unfortunately, I don't believe as long as we're in these meat suits, we are going to get the information that we want. It's just really fun to speculate. It's almost like putting together a puzzle. You look
Yeah.
over here one day, you find a piece and it fits over here, and then you look over here one day and you find another piece and it fits way over here. Well, after you get enough puzzle pieces together, you start to see the big picture. But even though the picture is not there, you get a better idea of how the picture is going to look in the end. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. I'm just going through my messages here to see if I had a couple of things I wanted to show here. Yeah, I wanted to show your most recent video, part 3 of your water. So I'm going to screen share that. I'm going to mute out and play it real quick in case anybody hasn't seen it yet. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Jeremy's channel, I want to know more. His links are in the description box below this video. And I'm going to get this set up here real quick. Give me 1 second. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'm having technical difficulties. Let me let this load, and we'll get back over playing that video in just a little bit. But yeah, so GMO, where's Steve's GMO? I don't know. Steve and I are going to do a show here in the next couple of days, though. I know that. He's just busy doing his thing. But when I came upon this information, right, I was already on the mud flood stuff, okay? And it's not a big stretch to go a little further and see the melted building stuff.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeremy.
Hang on 1 second.
Let's talk some more about water.
Hang on.
As I discussed,
it just started playing. It finally loaded. Okay, I'm going to go over to the video, and we're going to play this video from Jeremy. It's his most recent water video, Mysterious Water Part 3.
So let's talk a little bit about the spiritual side of water and the possible implications. The photo above is from an experiment where 2 glasses of water had electrodes placed inside them. And when an electrical current was passed into the water, a bridge was formed. That's right, the water itself formed a bridge. Not only that, you can pass a glass rod through it, and the bridge will form back. So water seeks out water when an electrical charge is induced. Is that why we all seek out a connection with someone? Could water and the ether work together? Since our bodies emit an electrical field, could water and ether work together to attract charged water with the same vibrations to manifest things around us? What if water is like Jehovah's 3D printer material? He spoke and water materialized it, like in Genesis 1:9. And God said, "Let the waters under heaven gather together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. So it kind of seems that water is the building blocks of Jehovah. Water has memory. Some would say sentient. Water, just like energy, cannot be created or destroyed. What if the intent and invocation of Yeshua changes the vibration of water inside and around us, so we have a direct connection to Jehovah, the Creator? And if this is hard to believe, let me point out the Hutchison effect, where a man named John Hutchison transmutated metals with magnetic frequencies. He was able to turn a chunk of aluminum into a gooey state and a bar of steel into a metal not known on any metallurgical chart. So is it too much to think that the Creator could use frequencies to transmutate water into solid land? Did you know that water could create light, called sonoluminescence, using frequencies and pressure? I'm not saying this is definitely what's going on. I'm just exploring possibilities. So if you learn anything with these videos, I hope it's we affect the water around us, and in turn, the people around us. So let's speak life, not destruction. Let's spread happiness, not fear. Let's do what Jehovah put us here to do. Create a beautiful world. We are here to love others and Jehovah with all our hearts. Everyone is our neighbor. Thanks for listening. This is I Want to Know More. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you.
All right. Dude, that was
Thank you
so
for
good.
showing my vid, Jen. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You have a really good voice for this type of stuff. And I really like your perspective and where you're coming from with it. And I love that you have that curiosity and that you do want to know more. And to realize that, you know, this puzzle is so big, it's beyond us. And that we are supposed to be here creating this beautiful reality. But we've allowed them to put over our consciousness a matrix that's not real. And we think that that's the world that we have to create. We have to get up, we have to go to work, we have to pay taxes, and then we have to die. And somewhere in the middle of all that stuff, we have our little life experiences. But I got a glimpse of that beautiful world when I did mushrooms last weekend. And let me tell you guys, I didn't want to leave. It was that fucking awesome. And this world could be that awesome too. Now, when people say that we are in a matrix, I think we are in a matrix, a consciousness of a matrix consciousness. Like, how can I explain this? Like, if you look at fractals and patterns, you know, they all have their own little matrix to them in that respect. So I think that while we're here in this world, this particular matrix of consciousness here, we think that this is so real and this is all there is and stuff. But when actually there's this whole other part to consciousness that that you must go to after maybe when you leave this consciousness and go into the next one, the next consciousness over, the next dimension over, whatever it is, over the rainbow. It's amazing. It's colorful. It's full of fun and love and beauty, and even the things that you would see that would frighten you in this world, there it's just like you just see it and it's just is what it is, and you just move on, like I guess maybe some people could get freaked out about it, but like I saw a lot of eyeballs, especially that eye that everybody wears on their shirts with the eyelashes and stuff. Nowadays you see those. I saw those eyes. It's like, to me, I thought this is where they got the eyes from, because they draw them just like what I saw, and there was actually a whole wall of eyeballs just meandering past, and it didn't bother me at all. I was just like, oh wow, check out those eyeballs, this is so fucking awesome. But at the same time, I was the eyeballs. I wasn't afraid of the eyeballs because there was no fear. There was nothing to fear anyway. It was such an amazing journey that I went through. I actually found myself in all of it. My higher self is the only way I can explain.
I've often said that the spiritual world is more real than what we call reality.
Yeah. It definitely is. And I don't know what this means, guys, but I said to myself before I started my journey, I want to meet God. I want to have a face-to-face with God. And instead I met myself. I don't know what that means, but I was there and I was waiting for myself. And it was so awesome. I mean, I was looking back at this world. This is all while I was laying in my hallway for 2 hours, by the way. And I was looking back at this world and I was cracking up laughing. It was hysterical. This world is such a joke. The fact that we take all this stuff so seriously. And I just kept saying, none of it matters. None of this shit matters. None of it. And people are so invested in it. It kind of reminds me of Bill Hicks, where he talks about the ride and people are invested in the ride. Don't tell me this isn't real. I have a lot of money invested in this ride, but in the end, it's like it's nothing like the other place. Even when I was looking at my cats were so beautiful and huge and shimmery and amazing looking, like I was seeing their true spirits of what they really look like. I'm only getting a glimpse of what they look like here in this world. This dense world is not, and I think the Mandela effect plays into this, guys. I kind of, since I've went to this other place, I realized that maybe the Mandela effect is that other world telling us that, hey, guess what, guys? Your world isn't what you really think it is. Okay, so maybe you shouldn't take it so seriously, because none of it matters. None of this shit matters. This is like just a stop on the way of our journey here. I'm not saying that the feelings and the connections that you make along the way don't matter. I'm saying all this external stuff that they have us doing. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing here. I totally got that vibe. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're distracted. They have us thinking we have to work. We have to make this money. We have to live in these houses, these storage units where we store all our stuff. And maybe get away and have a little vacation once in a while and create some sort of form of fun. Where I was in the other reality, everything was fun. It was amazing. I couldn't believe how fun everything was. And I really didn't want to leave, guys. I wanted to stay there. I just never wanted to leave. It was so amazing. It was like I was traveling through Candyland or something, and I was the candy and the land, and I was traveling through it all. I was a mushroom for a good while there. As a matter of fact, the way to get into this reality is through the mushroom. You have to commune with the mushroom. The mushroom becomes a part of you, and then you feel like a mushroom. I felt very shroomy. And I was wondering, like saying, wow, it's really cool being a shroom. Like, this is awesome. Mushrooms have the best time ever. Like, I'll never look at a mushroom the same again. So yeah, I remember at the end of it, I remember saying goodbye to myself, like, bye. I hope I see you soon. Did you see everything you wanted to see? I was saying to myself. And then, towards the end of it all, well, we had some dramatic music on. Queen of the Damned was playing, and there was really dramatic, strong music. By this time, I was on my couch with my face buried in my couch because it felt really comfortable to be there, buried into the couch. It was like I had to be glued to something. Like I was either stuck to the floor or I was stuck to my couch, and it felt good there. And then my consciousness took a left turn with this music and just went straight into where I was keeping all my grief. And I can't really talk about it because I'm just going to lose it if I do, but I cried for what seemed like forever. I couldn't stop. It was just gushing out of me. And it was all the grief that I had for my pets, so my dogs that I lost. And then I had to pull myself out of that. But I felt like as I was going there, I was passing all these other rooms in my consciousness. And I look into these rooms and I could see little piles. And I thought, oh, yeah, that's right. I got to clean up that mess. Yeah, there's another little mess I just never got to. I got to clean up. And I started thinking, my life is a mess. And I'm like, I got to clean my life up. And then it was just... It was crazy, guys. It was really awesome, and I can't wait to go back there again. Dean, you are the man. I love you. I never experienced anything like that before. I didn't believe people when they said they saw all this psychedelic stuff. Everything that they show on the Mellow Dome on their thumbnails is exactly what I saw. If you think of the eyeballs in Labyrinth, the movie Labyrinth, where all those little eyeballs are watching her walk by and they're moving with her, that's what I saw. I saw all those eyeballs. And they didn't scare me at all. I saw bugs that look like metal workings. If you ever ride past people's lawns and you see those, it looks like a grasshopper or some kind of bug with wings, but it's all made out of metal. I saw those everywhere. I was a mushroom, and then I turned into some kind of slimy snail. And I remember saying it's sticky business being a mushroom and all this stuff. And I had to peel myself up off the floor, and I felt like I was really drippy and melty and creamy all at the same time. And it was like anywhere I went in this, I could just keep going. If I went down, spiraling down whatever kind of spirally looking thing it was, all these colors, I could just keep going and then come back out somewhere else. And it was just, I can't explain it, guys. It was amazing. If you haven't done mushrooms and really got the full effect of them, you really need to. Now, that's the natural way to go. I know other people do acid and all this other crap that involves chemicals, and it can be harmful to your system. So I don't think I'll ever go that way. But I didn't want to come back. And the few days after my experience, I found myself wanting to stay in bed. It's like, I'm still here. You know what I mean? Like, here we go, another day, whatever, of this bullshit. And all I wanted to do was lay down and go to sleep and try to catch a glimpse of what I saw when I was there. I kept trying to relive it in my head. I was almost feeling like a little depressed. Like, it was... how can I explain it? People talk about near-death experiences when they're on the other side and they're having this great experience, and then boom, they get slammed back into their body, and it's like, fuck, I'm back here again. That's how it felt. And shrooms poison your blood. That's how you hallucinate. Well, I don't think I was hallucinating. I think I was seeing things the way they really are. Like I was seeing my cats how they really look in the spirit world and stuff, and there was big, huge shadows everywhere and all kinds of stuff, and it was amazing to me. It was absolutely 100% amazing. I even said, I don't even know why I have eyelids at this point. I don't need eyelids, because with my eyes open and my eyes shut, I was seeing the same stuff. It was crazy. Have you ever done mushrooms, Jeremy?
It has been a very long time, but yes, I have. It was quite the experience. I have done mushrooms and LSD, and I'm not a big advocate for drugs, but I would suggest that everybody do mushrooms at least once. At least once.
Yeah, I have to find these pictures and send them to myself here because I had actually I'm going to send them to you, Jeremy. I'll send them over to you so you can screen share. We'll see how good your screen share skills are. Okay, you hear me?
I'm sorry, you kind of froze up on me there.
I said I'm going to send this stuff to you, and you're going to screen share it for me. All right. All right, there we go.
Oh,
Because
you
see
sure
on
you want to
my
do that the way that my internet's acting?
yeah, we're gonna try it and see how it works for you if we screen share on your end. Because my end, I don't know. It might work okay. It's just we're having a little delay with the talking. So I sent them to your Facebook Messenger. You'll want to bring that up.
Well, the only problem there is I do not have Messenger on my laptop. That is something I've not
Okay.
downloaded yet. So the
Wait.
only thing I
You have
really have
you
is
have
my
you have
email.
Facebook.
I am sorry.
Do you have Facebook on there?
Not on my
No.
computer, no.
All right, no problem. I'll bring it up. I'll see if I can get it
All
to
of
come
that's
up on
on my
my.
phone.
Okay, I got it.
I'm sorry, Jen.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I was hoping that it would work on your end, but if not, it's no problem. I think I can make it work over here. All right, we're gonna go to screen share. All right, guys. So let's start with this. Let me know if you can see this. If it comes up. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you guys can see it.
I
Let me put it
see
on
the
big.
ripple effect.
All right, I'm putting it on
Oh,
big
there we
screen
go.
here.
Yep.
Trying to click big screen. There it goes. All right, there we go. So, guys, these are the eyes that I saw. I know it seems crazy, but they were coming out of or just in front of something red. So the background behind them was all red, and there were these eyeballs everywhere. And it was so cool looking, and they were kind of drippy looking too. I was not afraid of them at all in any way, shape, or form, but it was just really cool. I was like, wow, look at these eyeballs. And here's a picture of Candyland, which kind of reminds me of where I was in a way with all these colors and different things popping out everywhere. It was like going through a journey like that all at once, like all of it everywhere, all around you and stuff. And then I got this picture here. And this is what the mushrooms look like, but they were all shimmery as well. They were shimmering, and the colors were way more vibrant than these. And it was just pretty amazing looking. And
So when you say
mushrooms had the,
shimmering, do you mean like a metallic kind of shimmer, or was it
it
like a
was like,
kind of a like a translucent glow?
it was all of it. It was a translucent glow and a shimmer. It was so crazy when when I was gliding my hand across my black cat Bella. He shimmered as I did it, as I touched him, and it went across like as if my energy touching his energy was shimmering. You know, like our energies were connecting, and it created a shimmer across his back. And he seemed really long and skinny when normally he's a little short and pudgy kind of in real life. And then these guys here, the eyeballs look like this too. Not so much with the stems under them, but kind of round like that. Some of them had eyelashes and stuff. That was really crazy. But again, they did not bother me in the slightest. I didn't feel like I was threatened by them or anything. The way they use the whole eyeball, one eye, all seeing eye thing in this reality, you know what I mean? This also, I felt like I was looking at something along these lines here where he's sticking his head out, where you can see layers upon layers of different colors and things moving. Like these clouds would be moving this way, but this one would be moving this way, and then this thing would be moving this way, and then this one was going this way. So it was all these different layers of patterns and things that were moving, but they were moving opposite of each other. And it wasn't dizzying at all or anything. It was awe-inspiring, to tell you the truth. It was absolutely incredible to experience that. And I can't wait to do it again, to tell you the truth. I really can't. So, yeah, there's that. So what kind of stuff did you see when you did LSD?
It sounds like a blast.
What kind of stuff did you see on LSD?
What was that you froze up on me?
I said, when you did your LSD, did you see stuff like that, or what kind of stuff were you seeing? I'm not sure if you can hear me, guys.
I'm sorry, Jen. You kind of froze up on me. I didn't quite catch that.
That's okay. It's okay. I was just asking, when you went on your acid trip, when you were doing LSD, what did you see? Did you hear me? No? I'm going to take you out and then bring you back in, Jeremy. Let me see. Hey, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, so let me go back in here.
All right.
Hey, you there? Okay. So tell me about your LSD trip. What did you see?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, good.
What was that?
All right. Well, we're having audio issues. I was going to have you tell me about your LSD trip. All right. We're having audio issues, guys. I'm not sure what's happening.
That actually did not end well.
Oh. So it wasn't a good one.
Yeah, like a bunch of us ended up in like the middle of the woods, and it was probably a group of about probably 10 or 12 of us, and about 30, 45 minutes into the peak, the storm sirens start going off because we were out in the middle of the woods, and we all kind of got freaked out. And but after that, it was a really cool experience. I kind of wished I hadn't have been, had that panicked moment there, because that just kind of threw off everything. But the best I can remember outside of that, yeah, like I was able to see the moon suck the sky into itself. That was something
Really?
incredible to see. And after we left from the storm sirens, the raindrops had set in and kind of looked like we were like going through hyperspace in Star Wars, with the lights from the car hitting the raindrops and then seeming to stream by us like we had hit like warp speed in the Millennium Falcon or something. It was a crazy experience, to say the least.
That's crazy. Pretty trippy. I remember laying in the hallway laughing my ass off, saying to my husband, "You gotta admit, this is pretty fucking cool." And it was better for me and my husband to stay separated because we were on like two different levels. He's larger than me. We took the same amount. It was hitting me a lot more than it was hitting him. And once I spent the 2 hours in my hallway here, laying by my bathroom door, curled up in a ball on the floor, I realized that I didn't have the parameter. I didn't recognize the parameters of my body or where I was at anymore. I was so into the other reality that at one point I managed to pick my head up off the floor and peer down my hallway with my squinty eyes. And I saw my vacuum cleaner and I thought, okay, I'm still in the hallway because I had no clue. Like it's like I didn't have a body, or at least I was not here in this reality at all. Like I
That's
even,
crazy.
I even thought to
That
myself a
is
couple of
crazy.
times, I thought, God, I hope I'm not live right now, because all these eyeballs kept looking at me, right? And I thought, I hope I'm not live right now, making a fool of myself, because I have no idea where I'm at or what I'm doing or what anything looks like other than what I'm seeing, And I finally got myself out of the hallway and made it down to my bedroom and laid in my bed for a while. And that's when I saw the clock was 9:11. Now, I started this journey at 20 after 6. I took it at 6 p.m. By 6:20, I felt it creeping up on me. And then it was like whew, straight off in the mushroom world. So I was in the hallway for quite a period of time. And then by the time I made it to my bedroom and laid down on my bed, I was able to, well, first off, I had candles going, and it felt like there was this huge inferno in front of me. And I was like, I got to blow these candles out. It took everything I had in my physical body to blow these candles out. Let me tell you, it was only like 3 little candles. I blew them out nice and softly. I laid back down. I looked at the clock when it was all melting. Now I get the whole melted clock thing. I get it now. And the numbers were 9/11, and it was like dripping down. And I was like, oh, fuck, it's 9/11. And then I just went off into this whole other place in my room. And it was crazy because there was this awkward silence that my brain almost didn't know what to do with, even though I was still seeing all this stuff. And then it was just like, I heard the air conditioner unit kick on outside my window. And then I could hear the crickets. And it was like the crickets were in the room with me. Like I thought that I was outside now. Like I was out. I'm like, oh my God, am I outside? I couldn't tell where I was laying. I couldn't tell what I was laying on, even though I knew I was on my bed and I took myself there, but then I had no
Hey,
idea
can you
after that.
drop me out and bring me back in?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, guys, it was so crazy and amazing. And it wasn't scary to me at all. That when I did take that left turn and go into grief, and it was really the music that took me there. Music and light and sound have a lot to do with what your journey is going to be like through that place. And the same goes with this world here. It's all about light and sound and frequency. All right, you back?
All right, I think I am back. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are. Yeah. So we're going to have to get you a better internet connection, Jeremy. You're going to have to get some sort of internet booster or what? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do something because, I can barely understand what you're saying at this point. Can
All
you
right.
hear me?
Well, listen, I can hear you, but I'm going to have, maybe I should let you go and we'll try another stream another time. Maybe when you have a better connection or something. Because there's no point in continuing if we can't keep up the conversation that way. You know what I mean? All right. So I'm going to drop Jeremy out and send him a text message real quick, guys, because he's really not picking up on what I'm saying here. So I'm just going to text him real quick here. All right, guys. So, yeah. Jeremy and I are just going to have to get together when he has a little bit better internet, because it's really hard to keep that conversation going when he can't see me on his end or I keep freezing and stuff. Jeremy, if you're listening, we will finish this conversation another time when we can make it work. And what we got to so far was really great. But we have a lot more to get to. And Jeremy and I are going to be going on some more adventures here as we move in towards fall and stuff, where we can get a better perspective of the landscape once all the foliage is fallen away and stuff. I think that's the best time to go exploring if you're in these types of areas where you have seasonal changes. For me, pre-spring and post-winter is the best time to go exploring around here, and I intend to get back out there. I've taken a huge time off here because there's just no point in trying to explore this stuff when it's covered with foliage. You can't get to any of it. And so I'm really looking forward to getting back out there and exploring with him. Everybody, please make sure you sub and bell Jeremy. And also, I do have my PayPal and Cash App name pinned in the chat. Guys, this is my full-time job. This is what I do for a living. If you want to help support my channel through donation, it's greatly appreciated. It goes a long way. And I still am trying to work on getting a desk in here. So every little bit helps that way. But continuing on with my journey, I remember after I spent some time in the bedroom, and I know it had to be at least an hour because when I was leaving my bedroom, the clock now said like 10 something. It was either 10, I'm not sure. It was 10 something though. So I was in there at least 45 minutes, if not longer. I go downstairs. Now I have not seen or talked to my husband this whole time. Okay. I go down the hallway. I make it down the hallway and all the lights are on in the house. All the doors are open and my husband's on. I'm like, I sit down on the step because I really can't walk at this point. I'm barely like making it down the hallway. I sit down and I'm like, where did he go? He's gone. Like, I'm thinking he went outside. He took a walk. I don't know where the fuck he is. So I start calling him. But apparently I was yelling really loud for him and I didn't know it because sound comes in and out with this whole thing. It's like some things are really, really quiet and you can barely hear them. And other things are like, wah, super loud, right? So there's times when I thought I was whispering and he said I was yelling. I don't know. So he comes in, he's already done his little trip. Okay. This is 10, whatever, or 10:30, almost 11 o'clock. I'm still full on into this thing. Okay. It might not be quite as intense as it was maybe the hour before, but it's still there. And I go, okay, so what are you doing? He's like, I'm outside talking to my friend. I'm like, you made a phone call? How the hell could you make a phone call at this point? Like, I couldn't even barely walk across the room. He's calling people, okay? I don't know what's going on. So I go outside, and he's like, shh, be quiet. We don't want the neighbors coming out because I was talking loud. And all of a sudden, I see my cats out there. And I was like, and this other cat that comes around and hangs out with my cats, it's my cat's sister. She's an outside cat. And anyway, she looked like a lion. She was huge. And I'm sitting there on the step just looking at these cats coming in and out of the shadows. And they were so big and full, but yet they were so quiet. And oh God, it was amazing how they look in this world. They look just so much fuller than they do vibrant. I can't explain it. And God, what did I do after that? I went back in the house. Queen of the Dam was still on. We had Queen of the Dam on. And I remember my husband coming over and sitting with me on the couch. And I was like, okay. I kind of like crawled up on him and I felt him. I actually felt like a warm body. And I was like, let's just stay here. Let's never leave. Let's just stay right down here, wherever we are. I felt like I was in the muck and I couldn't get out of it, but I was comfortable with it. It wasn't like, oh my God, I got this muck all over me and get it off me. Ew. It was like a warm, cozy, kind of mucky feeling. And I was just like, stay here with me in this muck and don't ever leave. Like, let's just never leave this place. But I knew I had to leave. I knew I was feeling myself come out of it more. And then by the time I was all the way out of it, which would have been like 1:30 in the morning, we were trying to go to sleep, and there is no sleep after that because even though you're exhausted, you're just replaying it in your head, and there's still a lot of things going on, even though not a lot's going on. It's like, it's just your senses are coming back online, and you feel really exhausted, and you feel really hungry. And if anybody wants to know how I took this stuff, I got about 18 grams. And I think it was 18 grams. Dean? Yeah, sleep is impossible. Anyway, we ground it up in my coffee grinder. So it was like powdery. And then I put it into my coffee filter thing and put that into the coffee pot thing maker. And then added distilled water, enough for, I filled it up to where it says 4 cups, I guess, maybe a little bit less than 4 cups. And turned the coffee maker on and kind of made a brew, you know. And then when it was done, I got these 2 glasses, maybe glasses were about this big, up to here, and poured it out evenly in each glass, put a little honey in it, stirred it up. We both drank that down. And then I took a spoonful out of the coffee filter, the ground up mushy coffee, mushroom stuff now. I just took a spoonful of that, stuck that in my mouth, and gave my husband a spoonful of it, just for good measure. And then I kind of sat back and chilled, you know, like it was just like, I remember my husband saying, I'm feeling something. I'm feeling real warm. I'm feeling this warm feeling. And then all of a sudden I felt something up around my neck here. It was like this heavy pressure coming up my neck. And then it was like, woo! He just took off. And it was like, it was just so much fun, guys. It was so much fucking fun. I don't ever want to leave. I want to go back. It was better than any vacation I ever went on. Like, you'll never. It was like being lost in a Dr. Seuss book or something. It's like a cartoon over there. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it was really awesome. And I had a good time. All right. So what's my mama saying over here? Good night. Love you, Mom. Good night. Let me tell you, it was a nice break from this reality. And this place that isn't as real as we think it is. And clearly the Mandela effect, whatever it means, there's one thing for certain. It's showing us that our reality is not what we think it is. It's not. So if it's not what we think it is, it's something probably completely different. And we're being trapped here in this matrix consciousness of seeing this place under a perception deception. Now, if you took all this crap away, took all the roads away, took all these buildings away, took all the law and the government and everything away, it would just be us and this place and the nature around us. And then we might get a clue of what we were supposed to be doing here. Because it's not what we're doing, that's for sure. And, Steffi P talks about a lot of stuff about, like, not engaging with the system. Like, there is no fight to be fought. The only way to get away from all this stuff is to rise above it and over it, around it, go around it and go over it. You know what I mean? Don't live in this matrix reality to where it's ruling your life and every movement you have to make and every decision you have to make. So I remember the last thing that I said to myself, at the end of all this, I had to get myself in the shower. And in the shower, I broke down and I didn't want to come back. And I remember opening my eyes after letting the water run over me for God only knows how long, because I still had no concept of time. I just remember looking at the shower wall and saying, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of fighting. I just don't want to fight anymore. But I knew being here was a fight, but it's only a fight if I make it a fight. And these people have no control over me and what goes on in my world. So I can't let them ever have that control over me. And that's what all the tentacles to all this media and all this trauma-based mind control the second we're born, and how they have us being born in these traumatic births and stuff. If we were born into this world the way we're supposed to be, with this coming out into the waters that are the same temperature as the waters we just left, and come up on our own to take our own breath, and feeling the heartbeat and the warmth of our mother's body against us, and not such a sterile environment with knives and needles and rubber gloves waiting for us, is not the way into this place. But yet this is how they have us coming into this place. And they have to do that, because if they don't, we will have the reality that we're supposed to have here. All I know is that when I was at the peak and just starting to peak this whole thing out, the one consistent thing that I kept saying was, none of this matters. I couldn't stop saying none of this matters. None of it matters. None of it. None of it. It really doesn't. And it's hysterical that we take it all so seriously. And I think we need to live fearlessly is the bottom line on that one. Jeremy, again, thank you for coming on with me. If you're still listening, we will finish our conversation. We just got to get you broader bandwidth and a better internet connection or something. He is going to be on the Melodome here coming up in a couple of days. Everybody make sure you guys check out that show, which I know you will. Of course, it's an awesome show. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for everybody who supported me and who continues to support me. This is what I do. I love to do this. And there's really nothing else I want to do. I just love coming live and talking with you guys. And if you guys can help me keep doing that by your support and donation, that's awesome too. I'm not going to put any of my stuff behind a paywall. I don't want anybody to have to pay for my streams. And I want everybody to have this information. I want us all to come together and all enjoy being able to talk about this stuff. And even if they shut me down, I'm going to pop up somewhere else because they can't stop me. They just fucking can't stop me. And I love it. It's terrible. And I love you guys. And let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing. Because we're doing a lot. And they can't fucking stand it. All right, guys. I love you. I'm out of here.